Hello, everybody. We're live. Rusty, where's your camera?
I know. I think it clear off.
It did. That fixed it. There you are. Rusty is as sick as he looks, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen.
Is that the same hat I'm wearing? Yours look. Did you just get yours out of the dryer?
No.
Come on, Annie. Come on, man. Get me in there. You want to get me in there? No, I don't want me in there.
There you go.
I need a deep sweatshirt, one that actually fits.
Sorry, the sizes I got were just not. They were not that good.
Well, I didn't like that.
They ran too small.
Well, they were just not. I mean, I can't say much about this one. It's getting short too, but it seems like all sweatshirts are that way.
You gotta wash it in cold. That's the trick.
I don't do my own wash, bro. That's why I got married.
Okay. We're going to do the August update, everybody. We're going to talk about all the cool stuff. We're going to answer your questions.
Oh, here it is.
Hold on.
Okay. Go.
Tyler's laptop broke, so let me just tweet this out that we're live. Sorry.
Okay. Tweet it out. Anyways, who we got in comments here while we're waiting? We got, let's see, we start from the top. Oh, look at that. Rusty wasn't number one. Look at that. Christos Tesla. Glad you're here, man. Waiting on your device. Did you order through Helium Deploy? That's a good question. Punjab, glad to see you here, buddy. Derek CA or Dereka. Yo, Manny, Nate, what's up? Look forward to next meetup. Yeah, okay. You're yeah, we met him. He lives down south of us.
I always read things in Spanish. So even though it's probably Derek CA, I initially read Dereka.
Dereka.
And then I have to correct myself.
Yeah. No, Derek's a cool guy. He actually sent me a message and I haven't replied back to you. I am an asshole. I apologize. Only a few things going on these days. It's been a little crazy. And I'm supposed to be getting ready for a hunt here, and I am 0% ready. So,
well, the good thing is we have a lot of better updates besides the hunt at the end of the month.
Well, that's the best update. Just for me, no, I'm just kidding. There's a lot of updates, but I'm excited, man. I've been waiting for 6 years for this. But anyways, regardless, moving on past my silly things. What are we talking about? Well, let's see here.
Well, let's go back to the August update because
that's where we're at.
So what we try to do is at the end of the month, I know we're a week late, guys. I know it's September 9th, but once we used to do like the weekly updates, and then we realized we could just do a better blog at the end of the month and just tell you guys everything that we worked out on. So I would say one of the big things that we haven't actually shown you guys, but we've been doing on the back end is bringing like the new DeEEP Marketplace live, and that's a huge technical lift. It's an entire new system. If you checked out the video with Ben and Lynn, that's like the midnight testnet that they're talking about.
Yeah.
We basically had several iterations of testnet, and so like now with the midnight testnet, which is where we're at, is the full testing of workloads going into DeEEP devices. What does that look like when a node goes offline? I love the scenarios we have. So we actually have workloads on the DeEEP devices, but the coolest thing is that we have workloads that behave differently. So we could do testing before, we're on mainnet. So we have workloads that are always healthy. We have workloads that are sometimes healthy. We have workloads that are never healthy. The best ones are where we don't know what's wrong. So they quite literally won't tell us what is wrong. So we need to see, well, is it either like the API key is wrong, or they didn't submit an API key at all.
Yeah.
Or the wrong API key. And so like we have like all these workloads going into this, but the greatest thing is this is actually all fully automated now. So from when you go to NerdNode and you sign up for your workload, your node, it will send it off to the DeEEP devices automatically. And as long as you put in your API key or you signed your transaction for your node, all that is just done automatically. It will register it that it's, it has the errors or it's live, and then it'll just go on the DeEEP device. And then we can monitor it on the DeEEP device all completely automated, which was not it was not that smooth before. There was a lot of friction in the sending to the DeEEP device and the communication to the DeEEP device. I feel like that was like the biggest.
Well, there's a lot of human interaction that we needed to get rid of. Right? There's a lot of that.
Yeah, for the scalability of what we're trying to do and the vision of DeEEP, we can't have manual interaction when workloads are being deployed. It all just has to hit the systems, and the systems have to greenlight it or not, and they have to communicate with each other rather than us telling them, green light or red light.
Yeah, there's a lot to that, which you just talked about there, and if you read the August update, I mean, it goes into detail on all the security aspects that are involved in that, like the migration of all our current customer data that's getting pushed over. And oh, by the way, it's a completely new website, front end, back end, that's going to be launching. So there's a ton of work that's been going into it. So it's not just as easy as like, hey, take a workload, which we could do. We could have done just literally take a workload, put it on a DeEEP device, but the automation, the redundancy, everything that has to happen with that was a ton of work. So, and finding a lot of the protocols in the, when he talks about midnight and we talks about, other stuff that we're utilizing, like we use some open source software. But we also developed a ton of that internally on our own because we're running stuff that a lot of people aren't really doing. And so we had to create that from the ground up. So again, it takes a lot of work there, but we've made a lot of progress, and you guys should see some cool stuff coming out here in the next couple of months.
It'll look pretty slick. And I think in terms of the scalability, that's the biggest thing, because one of the things that we have found is every node workload behaves differently because they're done by different projects. So sometimes what would happen is, not mentioning any node per se, this actually happens more often than you think. Whenever there's a new update to a node software, more often than not, it'll knock down all the other nodes. So the way the releases are done when a node gets updated, it basically kicks off like the old versions of the node. Yeah. And although that's supposed to be a seamless transition, so one of the things that we've worked on is in our previous system, that wasn't all very like the container of those workloads would affect too many of the other ones. So now they're all completely isolated. So if a new node software goes up, it would basically knock down a bunch of our other workloads. It's a mess. And it basically takes down like our engineers, because now they have to troubleshoot whatever's happening before it's because there's a new node software that went up. So like this way, like the alert systems that we have, it's basically real time. Like we can go in there and it'll tell us what is happening, what version it is, when it happened. Before we have to do a lot of digging into our old system. That's why we have to build a new one from the ground up for scalability.
Yeah. And then, all this is, right alongside when we, putting over these workloads. Well, obviously the work that's going to be done on these devices is going to emit tokens, right? So there's a lot of, contract writing and, wallet, wallet registration processes that we have to create. There's a whole bunch of stuff in there that we have to do too. So getting ready for TGE, which I know some of you, have saw the people were expecting an announcement at some point in time, and you will get an announcement. It's really close. Like we're getting really close to TGE. But the main thing you have to have is all these workloads on a device, right? Because what is necessary for us to move forward is these devices have to show provable work on chain to emit a token. So once these devices get all the workloads migrated over and we're, feeling comfortable with, how that's all working, then we can move to the route of actual TGE. So, and audits are a big part of that. So, talking to a few different people about audits and whatnot, so we can move that forward.
Hey, I'm going to read you in Spanish. Derecha. So first of all, we have an amazing video that I have not published. We've just been so busy. It's literally ready. I just have to go on YouTube and hit publish.
So people that are listening, he asked, what's midnight?
Yeah, sorry. For people that are listening, what is midnight? we have an amazing video with Lynn, our head of engineer, talking about the different layers of testnet and different versions of testnet that we've been building on the DeEEP network. Yeah, just click. No, it's literally already. Sorry.
Click that button, Manny.
Crystal's
Click
test, just click upload. No, you don't even understand. It's already uploaded. I literally just have to hit publish. And it's been like that for over a week. I'm sorry. So Midnight Testnet is our current version of testnet. And we started basically in the abyss, like in the darkness. And these are the layers of the Mariana Trench, like the ocean depth. So we're starting the trench, the darkness, and we're going up. So then we have the twilight zone. And then what's the last one? The sunlight zone. There you go. So we're working our way up. So essentially the sunlight zone is, or twilight would be mainnet. That's so yeah. We're there. We're breaking through to the light. That is what midnight is. And yeah, I will publish this video. It's amazing. Sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, so that's your on the work side, heads down. Did we have our team meeting in August? Was that in August? When we had people out here, right? The whole team? What month is this? What month is this? It's September. In the beginning of August, right?
2 offsites. We had the
beginning of August and then end of August. Yes. Right. Yeah. So yeah, because a lot of this, like the amount of work that was done from the beginning of August till now has been crazy. So we set timelines. We had the team here. They were actually in this room that we're at right now. Everybody but Chris, because Chris decided to be sick that week. So unfortunately he had to miss out. But it was great having the team here. A lot of getting that synergy going, getting that connection and talking about stuff. And we were hammering a lot of stuff out. And so that's why we've made a lot of these leaps and bounds on where we're at now.
Rusty, you were there. What's you're a great barometer of vibes and professionalism. What was your take on the offsite?
Sorry. I enjoyed the offsite. It was nice meeting y'all. I met most of you guys before, but it was nice to have the whole team together and talk about what a lot of the things we're working about, DG, the workloads, priority levels, and it was a lot of fun. And I think we got a good amount of work done.
How crazy is it when you get Ben and Lynn talking about?
Oh, I can't even understand half what they're saying when they're talking to each other.
No, you're just kind of you get to say 5 minutes into it, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go do something else because I don't get it.
Like, I thought I was relatively smart until I heard Ben talk, and then Lynn talks.
Yeah,
and then they both talk, and it's just like, yeah,
it's nerd, 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 nerd. But it's great. They're two brilliant people that are doing a lot of great work. So it's exciting.
That's why they're leading.
It's exciting to see what they push out, though. Like we got directly after this, we have a team meeting, and from last team meeting, which was last Tuesday, to this Tuesday, I'm excited to see what Lynn's got for us. So I know there's been a lot of big updates already. So I kind of got a little hint on some stuff from Ben yesterday. So
Ben is cooking.
Ben's cooking, man. Like,
let's talk about partnerships. Let's talk about workloads, because people are asking when is mainnet, and the important thing about mainnet is we need workloads, and we're getting workloads. Let's talk about Warp. Let's talk about who we're talking to. We've
talked about it before too. Like, let's just kind of go over the workload ecosystem when we talk about nodes and validators, right? So you have stuff that's already currently out there that people can come and we'll be able to run on our system, right? And you can go to NerdNode and see those that are currently on there. We're adding a bunch of those workloads that are already out in the ecosystem, like Aether checker nodes, Carve, Copy. I got a list over on the board. I can't quite read them all. But there's a bunch of those that we're going to add that are already in the ecosystem that people can bring over that are going to be able to run it. And then we have your new ecosystems that are coming on board with new nodes like Warp, which is the most recent one that we announced a partnership with, essentially working with them. But
Huddle 01, we have all the validators coming, a lot of cool stuff.
Yes, a lot of cool stuff. Well, the validators are a big one. We'll talk about that in a second. But we could talk about with Warp, because Warp essentially is going to have a validator with theirs as well. That's what their larger node ecosystem is a validator on the AVAX networks, because they're running an AVAX L1, right? Which we are as well, and we want to support the AVAX ecosystem. So we need to run validators. So that's one of the biggest updates that we'll end up having that'll come on board that we're excited to push out to. Beamable, they were a partnership that was the month before. They haven't launched a node yet, but that'll be a new one coming to the ecosystem. We're talking to other companies like Mawari. Nothing's been announced there, but we're talking with them. Tashi, nothing's been announced there, but we're talking with them. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to be updating and pushing out with those guys. What am I missing?
If you think for Beamable, like the software is not live yet, but you guys could do a early bird sign up on NerdNode right now. It's pretty cheap for the whole year. You basically get 30% discount right away. So that's live already.
Well, actually, Beamable is a great one to talk about too when we talk about partnerships, right? So, we start in the beginning of, co-marketing, and is it just to get workloads on board? No, like workloads are great because that, helps the DeEEP ecosystem thrive and move the DeEEP token, and you guys get, rewards for running those on your DeEEP device. But what it is it actually is our goal as the DeEEP network is to make Web3, right? So not just those nodes running on a decentralized network, but everything that they do to expand and add to these workloads, not just a validator, but stuff like Beamable. Beamable has some pretty high level workloads that they're going to launch on their second round of nodes. The first rounds are just like checker nodes. The first round, they're going to actually have to do work, and they need hardware that can do that work. So where are they going to run it at? Well, most of the time now people are running them on AWS and everything else. Well, we're providing a network that these companies can now utilize real hardware that's in a decentralized and distributed fashion. So when we talk about partnerships, it's not just getting that initial workload on there, it's expanding everything else out of what they want to do. Tashi's a great example of that as well. They're going to have actual work they need to have done on this, and they want to be distributed. They're going to be, we're a great partner that they can move out with. We've talked, I think we're on Unleashed DePIN. This has been a while ago, and they had 365 AI on there and we were talking about how they host all of their data with AWS. Well, why don't you distribute that with us? So those are the conversations that we're having when we talk about partnerships. It's not just a node, right? It's everything else that these guys are doing on the back end that they're using these Web 2 services for that they can use us with. So this is the beginning of these relationships that go on. So,
and with Beamable, one of the most refreshing things was during they did a podcast with them and hearing them talk about, giving back to the community, like actually putting workloads on the nodes. And, the team shouldn't be the ones getting all of the tokens because they're not the ones running like the network. Like this is the things that like not every Web3 game company says. Right. Some of them that we've talked, like they're not even interested in putting workloads into their nodes. Like they're just trying to do like the node sale. It was super refreshing to hear that
100%.
That actual Web3 nature with Beamable.
Yeah, I think the node sales, people expect stuff, and it's the same with us, right? They expect things to happen at this moment in time. Well, there's development that goes into it, right? We needed the devices as testing, and it's the same with like Beamable. It's the same with Warp. These companies that are out there, they have a vision of really decentralizing and distributing, but they need the actual node ecosystem out there to test it and run with it. So
it's a good question. Hey, Digos. Am I reading in Spanish? Digos.
Pro Digos.
Honestly, that is an old channel. We never use it. It should just be deleted. You have to check DeEEP updates.
Delete that channel.
Yeah,
quickly. Get that channel out of there.
It's literally an old channel that we don't use. If you go to the DeEEP updates, we have updates every week.
Thanks, Pro, for bringing that to our attention.
Yeah.
Get that thing out of there.
I think for Gizmo, KFC, I don't know what about KFC.
KFC is all over the U.S., bro. That's why people weigh 900,000 pounds around here, guys.
Rusty, what was the project that you needed to do KYC?
That was Bitbender's project. What was that? Datagram.
So that's this one's different than Beamable.
Mawari would be that way too. If we have a partnership that goes forward, they have a KYC requirement for. They actually have an interesting one that how they're doing it, but yeah, there's a few of those projects, and that's again when we come to regulation.
I was able to KYC no issue with Beamable. I put my ID as an American. I had no issues. But like, for example, Bitbenders, the datagram, they didn't allow Americans. So the only way around that was you'd have to use the Paleno ID. I don't know how to say it, which
Yeah, I
isn't
don't
really
know.
a good way to do it either.
Yeah, I mean, KYC, I understand why people don't want a KYC. I also understand why it's there as well on both sides. Again, this is why we're building ours to, align with the Clarity Act and the devices themselves. If everything's on chain and it's the actual device workloads, and the blockchain is the one that's deciding where rewards are going, we don't have any interaction with that. It helps with that, so there's no KYC process. So,
Dedica. There's no such thing as a dumb question, honestly. Especially if you're around Ben and Lynn. Trust me.
All my questions are dumb.
Yeah. So in terms of for you as a DeEEP, the question is, as an early adopter, is it just set it and forget it? Do I need to do anything in terms of interaction? Is it up to me to go to NerdNote, add workloads? So the workloads are only if you want to add those workloads. People are buying these nodes.
Meaning you have a workload that you already have another node.
You don't need to buy a node for any of these other projects to run a DeEEP device. The DeEEP device is basically replacing those workloads being run on Vultr or Amazon or another cloud service.
Yeah, and so our system automatically distributes those workloads throughout the devices that are alive, and it will choose. It needs to choose the most reliable of those devices. Hence why we talk about bandwidth and uptime and that kind of thing. So the actual network will choose what's going down there. So it's a not random, meaning like we need to put levels of priority both for the node and for the actual device itself, but then it chooses where it goes. So you don't have to do anything. You plug it in, you'll get workloads that get pushed to your device, and that's it. Yeah, it is plug and play, set and forget. So where we're at, I kind of forgot what we were talking about there. Partnerships. We're talking about all sorts of random things. I mean, kind of went down that Google node hosting onboarding. We talked about that. More workloads incoming. We kind of touched on that.
We can talk a little bit about the end of August and just talking with other projects.
Yeah, I mean,
game projects that have they've always wanted to be decentralized, but there really isn't a decentralized option out there for them.
Right. And so, some of these projects, like the end of August, we were out for a full week talking with them about how and why, we're doing what we're doing. They have the want to be decentralized and sometimes don't actually know how to get to that point. So we're here to provide an option for them to be able to do that. It was kind of twofold. There's other companies that were there talking as well about distributing stuff like games and game servers. So that was cool to chat about that and move that forward. So, and those are different types of partnerships. Not those are more like ground up type, building certain things out for those people. So those are, again, other partnerships and ecosystems that we're talking to. And the cool thing about those is they're using Web 2 services, right? They want to be distributed. We have to build out our system to be able to handle what they're doing. But what that does as we build that out is it expands our offering out to all your Web 2 services. So yes, we're marketing to Web 3. Web 3 is where we're at right now and how we're really, pushing out to partnership side, but everything we're building is marketable to the Web 2 ecosystem. So that's the exciting part for you guys as DeEEP device owners. It's like, we're not just limited to Web 3. It's going to be Web 2 that's going to be utilizing us as well.
It kind of goes into Punjab's question of what do we offer that AWS does not.
Yeah.
It touches on that. It's a lot of these Web 3 companies, they can't be Web 3 really. They're hosting on AWS because most of like the cloud devices out there, like or DePIN devices, they have no security.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're completely hackable. You're as soon as you put a device in somebody's house and they have physical access to the device, that device is extraordinarily vulnerable to just being taken over. So if you're running a game, you have to be able to trust that the data being communicated is legit. The DeEEP device solves that because you legitimately cannot hack it, even if you have the physical device and you're trying to hack it, it's all contained, right? So you could, what is it Ben always says? You could put liquid nitrogen, take out the RAM, try to hack the RAM. Like the RAM is encrypted.
RAM,
like
yeah.
every VM and part of the device itself has encryption. So that's a thing that it's not that AWS doesn't offer that. It's just these Web3 companies want to be Web3.
They just don't have that option.
They don't
in
have
a
the
Web3
option.
environment.
Yeah.
Redundancy is a big one too, right? So you have the security option, which is huge for people that are actually running workloads that want to be distributed. We offer that. Redundancy is another big one, which you can get redundancy on AWS, but once you start to add redundancy in, the cost effectiveness is you're way out of the park. And so we can add redundancy along with a good cost for these people to come over and utilize our network. So, those are the two biggest options right there.
Yeah, and price. So right now for just like an indie dev, I mean the ones that from indie devs to more small team dev games, it costs a lot for them to run things on AWS to test, just to build out the product, right? We could cut that by more than half, if not more. So it would actually benefit them while they're just in, not even in like a live game, just in development. That's kind of where it goes into like the Web 2 side of things, where we could actually offer a cloud for game developers to build on that's probably 3 times, 4 times cheaper than AWS.
Yeah, it was, and that was great conversations that we had with those game devs. So it was good. Let's see, more August updates. What else you want to touch on?
DeEEP NFTs. Yeah. I made a very short video explaining about the DeEEP NFT, what it is. It got a little confusing, guys, when we were doing the first initial launch. It's like, does it have a multiplier on your realization rewards? Does it come? When we first announced it, we didn't know the price of the devices. We were sticking to the 1111. The only caveat with that is if you're in New Zealand, the UK, and I'm pretty sure Australia. If you're in those, then you have to pay just the VAT. But the device itself, like there was like the whole tariff thing happening. So you just need the DIN NFT and the device, which will go live whenever that shipment from the factory is ready. It'll be 111. And the DIN NFT is your license to run the DeEEP network, essentially.
Yeah. There's a lot that we're going to do with that DIN NFT too. There's some other cool things that we're trying to implement with other partnerships and stuff too. So there's more to it rather than just being the software side, but it allows us to, grow with it.
Yeah, it allows us to grow with it. It's also, if you get one, you might get a chance to buy another one for 98% off. You could get one for less than $20 if you win the raffle. We're raffling one DeEEP device per 100 DIN NFT sold. So I think very soon we'll do the next raffle.
I think there's we have to sell like 10 more NFTs, and I think then we're ready for the next giveaway. We're really close.
Oh, I have a cool dashboard update.
I was gonna say, so it kind of goes with the terminal message from Gizmo, but are we updating the dashboard, or is it just gonna stay the same?
So basically, what we know that the dashboard is essentially engineer art.
Engineer art.
And the reason why it's engineer art is because we're building out the marketplace, the DeEEP Marketplace. That's block 1 because that's the new system. The DeEEP Marketplace is going to be integrated into the dashboard. So the data from when you go online, you check days online, you see your device name or devices, and you see you can link your Google account, your Discord, all that is going to be merged into the DeEEP Marketplace. So the DeEEP Marketplace is going to have, and this won't be for the first launch. This is probably the V2. There's a way to interact with the marketplace if you are a DeEEP device owner. That's different than if you're just a node owner and you're just deploying on the DeEEP network.
Right.
Both have really good use cases. And once we free up Lynn, so one thing that Lynn worked with on his previous, what was that DePIN aviation project that he worked on?
I forget the name of it.
It was the
one
building
one.
drones. Yeah. One thing that he has done a lot of is building amazing maps. Map guy. He's basically a cartographer, a DePIN cartographer. So essentially, we have the data of where are the devices, which one's alive, or all those metrics. They just literally have to be plugged in, and then we'll have literally an interactive map and all that stuff. It's gonna be sweet.
Yeah.
So Well, I know, right? The first baby steps, DeEEP
Baby
Marketplace, then integration of the user
Yeah.
experience with the DeEEP device owner and the marketplace, and then we just need to free up Lynn and let him go crazy with map cartography. But it should be pretty awesome.
Can we get 3 more Lyns?
Hey, leak. Lynn is actually interviewing 3 people right now. One
What?
yesterday, one in an hour, and another one in 2 hours.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
we're trying to.
They're not going to be another Lyn.
We are trying to clone Lynn, but we are not there yet. But we are trying to find another Lynn.
I don't know about the Moken offline message. That's Heal and Deploy. You're going to talk with them. I have no clue. They do their own thing over there. So
I would say so. So for the Moken tracker, it probably doesn't work with DeEEP right now because we're in testnet. We get a lot of issues of like it'll tell you either days online or points or there's no tokens yet because we're in testnet. So I would just go into the DeEEP dashboard itself.
And as long as you guys see you're live once a day, you see the days online going up every day, you're set, you're fully earning, and you're good.
yeah, Dirty Dan talking about DINs. When founders DIN.
They're in progress. So basically,
I have some cool founders DINs. I want to flex. Come on.
they are in progress. It's one of those things that just takes a lot of time, unfortunately, because Midjourney is the best image generation tool out there, but they don't want you to use their API. So we've tried several ways to kind of like speed up the process, but it just still requires a lot of manual interaction through their essential like setup.
You got a time frame for me?
No, I bet.
Yeah.
So the cool thing is this: we already have the system in place. How it works is Ben has a folder structure, and if I drag the images into that folder structure, they will appear in your dashboard. Like it already works. It's just we're in the image integration, image creation phase still. We're about halfway.
How do you say Derek CA?
Dereka. Oh, and the weird part that I did not know, Midjourney has some limitations, and so there's like a couple creatures that it will not make. It just.
Do we have a Bigfoot?
Like which ones you want to make?
So like the centaurs are one. The platypus. I went on a rant with the platypuses already. Like it does not recognize what it is, so it'll create just like weird, like I don't know, like weird like fetus looking things, but it will not create a platypus. So the centaurs, it won't create them, and I think it's because usually the top half of a centaur is usually naked, and so I think it has all these like restrictions. So it'll create people riding horses or kind of horse face, but it will not create a centaur. Like it is really, really hard.
What are you squatting these days? Like 590?
No, squatting. No, deadlift is.
Oh yeah, your deadlift was.
Deadlift is 525 max.
Oh, this guy's crushing it. Love it. It's funny. Spend less time in the gym, bro. Give me some founders NFTs. So a lot of people are asking. So every founders unit has a DIN NFT already. You have a DIN NFT with that device. So you'll get your image of that DIN NFT. When did you say?
I did not say
Oh,
the
you didn't give me
date,
that.
but you'll log into your dashboard.
on,
We'll send it to the wallet that is linked to your DeEEP.
Your
Embedded
deep embedded wallet.
Your DeEEP embedded wallet will receive it, and it'll show up on your like DeEEP dashboard as well.
And it's going to be your the 3-word name that your device is called. That's what the NFT is going to kind of look like.
So that's your device identification number. It's that name.
All right, let's go to our questions that they sent in earlier on. We'll start with that. So
Okay.
at TG, how many node types do you expect to have live, and how many total workloads on the network? I'm going to go count on my board over here. Hold on, because I don't know.
Well, I think we have 12 node types technically already. So I think it will be closer to 20, at least types of nodes.
Yeah, I think we're going to be 20
20 plus.
Yeah, at TG.
Workloads, I would have to see how many actual unique workload subscriptions we have.
Yeah, I don't know what that number is either because it changes daily. So, but yeah, we're going to have 20 different workload types. We have some exciting stuff that's going to come out on the workload side too. So when do we expect to have the next hardware for sale and shipping for the DIN NFTs? I think we're still on the October timeframe. Wish Chris was here. He's all over that one.
Yeah.
We are going to, so the next question, will you continue to use the MS01 units or switch up? No, we're going to use the MS01s. A lot of people are asking about that. So we're continuing with the MS01s, just again, because they already know what we need. They can build it out security wise and everything else. You know, we have a great relationship with the manufacturer, so we can move that forward. Yes, we do plan on using other types of devices that have the same requirements that we need security wise. Will it be this year? Probably not this year. I would expect that to come in next year. The next question is going to probably ask is, can I use my own device that has all that stuff on there? Probably, if we go down that route, and this is the BYOD side. So there's a lot that has to be developed in there. So we have to be able to say, check your device, make sure it has all the right requirements we need on there, hardware wise, for the security aspect of it. And then in reality, you're going to take that device and you're going to wipe it completely and put the DeEEP software on there. So when we do implement that, my guess is that's going to be probably mid to late next year if we do implement that. I shouldn't put a timeline on it, but
yeah, I would put a timeline on it, but it is something we talk about a lot.
The hard thing is getting to make sure that your hardware is exactly what we need. This is now, again, we want to expand into a bunch of different companies, you know, whether it be Dell or Asus or whoever else, because we can go to those manufacturers and we can guarantee that that device is going to have the right hardware in it to be able to run, right? So we have to have a way to be able to check your device from our end to make sure that you can use it. There's just a lot that goes into that. So it is on our roadmap, though, just so people know.
And in terms of sticking to the MS01, it's mainly for the certifications. So there's like a newer version of the MS01, but you're right. Pretty sure if we change, if it has a different component in it, it's a
different CPU, and because it has a different CPU, you need completely different certifications.
Which costs a boatload of money. It's unbelievable how much that costs each time. So if one person just wants to get the new unit, it doesn't make sense for us. We need to have a larger bulk order in those new units to kind of go and switch over to that.
And that's kind of where the bring your device conversation leads into, because it's like, well, there are manufacturers in every country, and rather than paying the certifications, if we can just work with certain types of pre-approved devices that people could get in their own home country, they already have the certifications. How do we do the whole reboot, refresh entire system, and then install the DeEEP OS with your license? But that's a big technical lift. It is something we talk about a lot, and it's on like the vision for scalability.
Yeah, it definitely helps us on the scale side. Makes it easier once that's implemented. But right now, it's way easier to go with trusted devices. So when we'll be able to upgrade devices with additional storage or GPU, when those workloads require it, which will lead us into the next question that's going on here. But we are talking to a lot of different companies. Again, this is where partnerships come into play, because where are they going to get this additional storage or the GPU? They're going AWS. They're going to, Volta. They're going to these places that they can get those GPUs. So again, that once we get those partnerships on board and go in that way, we want to be able to, expand out into those.
And especially with AI, like those companies need the GPU. So whenever there's that partnership that requires it, that's when we would do, upgrade your device so that you're eligible for this partnership.
There's some gaming sides too, so that will help. But that also goes into, many of nerd nodes are essentially ping nodes. Is this going to be an issue in generating revenue? No, nerd nodes generate revenue with ping nodes now, but if you notice, a lot of the partnerships that we're trying to work with specifically are partnerships that are doing real work or trying to put real work on a node ecosystem. So those are our main focuses of like, hey, let's do actual work. We have real hardware. Let's not just run ping nodes out there. Let's run some real stuff. Let's help you out. Let's decentralize everything that you're doing. So,
and the ugly truth is most Web3 nodes are just ping nodes, guys. Like part of it is because the infrastructure hasn't been there to actually help them put on workloads. But a lot of the crypto projects, if you really look into what they're doing, it's just a ping node that supports their ecosystem.
And it's funny, we've talked with quite a few people that go out there and they've sold a ping node and they actually want to try and put workloads on there. And what they're finding is a lot of people are running these nodes on inferior hardware, right? or it's not trusted hardware. It's a laptop that closes down every night. It's an old desktop that doesn't have much on it at all. They're just running it on there. So they don't have that reliable hardware. So they're actually coming to us and being like, hey, can we start to deploy onto you guys so we can actually use hardware so we can deploy stuff out, right? Again, we're solving a problem that's really out there. And there's a lot of ecosystems that want to build. They just don't know how to do it. They don't know how to get to that hardware side. So, this question, we've been talking about it all day. What needs to happen to get to TGE mainnet? I say all day in the last 40 minutes. It's been all day already? Oh, no.
Maybe all month.
Oh,
all week, all year.
Are we in October yet? I won't be here if it's October.
You want to dive into the Clarity Act?
No. Are we doing that on here? Oh, that's what you want me to do next. Sorry. Maybe this afternoon. We can do that. So again, what needs to happen, TGE? We need workloads on these devices. We have workloads on devices right now. That's what we're talking about with testnet and everything else there. So when these workloads are migrated over to the actual devices, then we can show work being done and verified on chain. So then rewards can be emitted to those device owners. So that's the steps that we're going to see there. Workloads on the devices, testing as you guys start to see those, kind of pop up on your screens, and that goes there, and we're, testing everything out, and then we can actually put those on chain and have it verifiable. So, and then TGE and mainnet. TGA and mainnet are basically the same thing. They're going to be, TGE, that's mainnet. Because it has to happen at the same time. So are we ready to decentralize the world together?
Let's go.
Man,
LFG.
That's a great question.
Should we decentralize the world? Do we want to decentralize the world?
The world's kind of big, but I do like the energy.
I love the energy. I love the idea of decentralized. The word decentralized is always kind of funny. It's like, yeah, you want to decentralize stuff, but then it's like, can you? Is it even like a fully decentralized ecosystem? Is it necessary?
We can't decentralize the world until we put voting on the blockchain, first of all, but baby steps.
Yeah. Baby steps. So hell yeah, we're ready to. I mean, we're talking to so many different companies about moving actual workloads to devices. So, and when mainnet and stuff that gets here, that's when that really hits the road. The rubber starts to hit the road, because it's all on chain. They can actually help. We can help deploy those onto the DeEEP devices, and they can use the real world.
You don't have to mention the company, the restaurant company, but just the use case.
Okay.
Of how this isn't even blockchain, but it is very appealing to just everyday businesses that are out there in the world. Why would they be interested in DeEEP?
So again, the restaurant side, they have a few different aspects that they want to. One, they want to get off AWS because it's expensive, right? We can offer a cheaper product. Two, they have over 4,000 restaurants across the world that they want to deploy a DeEEP device into each one of these restaurants. Well, it poses a couple, benefits, but issues on our end too. Great, they have these devices in these restaurants. Well, why do they want the devices? Well, if they're running their own internal workloads on these devices, we can help it so they talk to each other. So all these restaurants can talk to each other. They want the Wi-Fi within their restaurant to be able to connect directly with their app that they have on there. So when their customers come in with their app, it automatically connects to that, and they can give them benefits and that kind of stuff. So these are things that we can offer with these DeEEP devices, because we can localize them in those restaurants and utilize that kind of mesh network that they're almost creating amongst themselves. And they see the vision of what it can do for them.
So it's essential. How do you decentralize the world? Is we don't need to do the whole world at once, but there are use cases in both Web 2 and Web 3 where they could really benefit from an essential mesh network solution or a cloud solution that's decentralized or that is more tailored to their needs.
Yes. Win merch site, bro.
So the funny thing is, but we have a merch site that we have not promoted at all. It's like
it's in the official links, and I also posted in the YouTube chat.
Yeah, we haven't promoted it at all because we created it, and then my thinking was, well, I don't want to promote merch until we're in actual mainnet.
Why not?
Because it just seems like I want people to be hyped up about mainnet.
I mean, I'm wearing merch.
That's true.
I handed out hats to people. Look at that. DeEEP shirts on. DeEEP hats on.
I just,
Okay,
you know,
Do you not like
DeEEP-
our community?
no, I
man?
love our community. That's why
The
we
hell?
we put merch into a lot of the devices that we shipped out as a thank you for buying a DeEEP device. I snuck in those shirts in there. You know how hard it was to squeeze those shirts into those little boxes? Those were free gifts for the community. But you know, like I just always feel like you guys already bought a device, you already supported us. Like I don't want to just start promoting merch. And by the way I set up the site is our profit margin is literally zero. Like it is the base cost of the shirts.
Yeah.
Like in fact, I try to make the shirts so cheap that the website wouldn't let me publish it. So like I think it needs like a margin of like $1 at least. So like whatever the price you're buying, we might earn like $1. Like we're not promoting.
we're not in it for the merch
we're
money.
we're not trying to make money from merch.
Dude, you should get out of the gym, bro. You're doing some gym. You know, you're not getting NFTs out there. You're not sending merch out there. What the heck are you doing out there, man?
Ledger.
Pumping iron all day.
Man, you got all the questions today.
Yeah.
So the Ledger integration, Ledger and Trezor are pretty good with like their software, but like SDKs.
SDKs, yeah.
That's just first we have to do like mainnet and stuff. We are using, we already have Web3 wallet integration. So just once that happens, obviously we know that people want to like
go with the Ledger.
Yeah, people, you got to link or change the embedded wallet in your device. That's a super common request. So it is on our roadmap of that's absolutely something people are going to ask. Hey, can my DeEEP rewards go into a Ledger? Of course. So we just need to figure that out.
So is Bob getting the DeEEP tattoo or is Manny?
Bob, are you getting a DeEEP tattoo?
And where are you putting this tattoo? Like,
it has to be visible. You can't cheat. Like you can't just get
it. Can't be a tramp stamp. Can I say that online? I don't know.
I think, Bob, if you
can I get it canceled now?
I think, Bob, if you get a DeEEP tattoo, we could convince Nate to just
you
give you a DeEEP device for 727.
Oh yeah. Okay, well, I don't know, man. Like I feel there's been bad precedents set by people doing that kind of thing.
Okay,
so,
don't.
No, I'm not giving you anything if you get a tattoo.
We're just kidding. Please don't get a DeEEP tattoo unless it's for your own good.
Yeah. No.
Right on the forehead.
No regrets. Harvard qualified list, Wimble founders, didn't see. We talked about that. He's tattooing his NFT on his arm, so it becomes legendary.
Hey,
I love it.
That would look pretty sick.
I mean, some of those NFTs are pretty badass. They turned out really cool. So, when do we need private IP addresses? You're gonna want that at mainnet. Essentially, that's going to be one of the work requirements that come into play when you get emitted DeEEP, right? So, do you have to have one? No. Will you get a multiplier on it? Depends on what the end looks like. We have a couple different scenarios we have to work out on that though. So we'll do a full TG or full tokenomics review that goes along with the Clarity Act that you guys will get an update on. So. Dun, dun, dun. I think we're coming to the end.
Hey, can you put the hunt down Manny and he'll get you one?
What's he gonna give you?
The
t-shirt.
So what happened was we legitimately ran out of shirts. At one point, we ordered new ones that we like put in some boxes.
And Manny ordered like quadruple XLs only.
No, that's
what he thinks about his community. There's like a bunch of big fatties out there, apparently.
They're so big too. Like large was like an XXL.
The first ones to go. We got a little bit of everything. But what happened was some of the orders that were in Europe, we didn't want to risk the devices like getting stuck in customs because the weight was a little off, like by a couple ounces. So we didn't include in those. But if you send me a DM, I'll send you the website link.
Dirty Dan. Are Star plans to let you run your node for free or discount on a DeEEP device? Essentially, if you're running it with Nerd Node currently, and there will be some announcements of new node as a service providers in the very near future. If you run it with them, you're essentially going to get 50% back, right? Because you're going to get that workload paid to you. So, promise and then show. What do you need from the community, Bob? Good question. Interaction like you guys are on here. The more people that we get on these AMAs, the more people we have in the Discord. We've been pretty quiet. It's been summertime. People are doing their own thing. We've been heads down trying to hammer this stuff out. So we haven't been as active either. just in the community, Discord, Twitter, making sure that
post things, and then also tell people about NerdNode and help bring clients in to host the workloads if you're involved in Web3, because that's going to help everybody. Because that's how the DeEEP devices are going to earning. The more clients we have, the more money everyone makes.
Well, and Warp's a perfect example. Somebody introduced me to Warp. They said, "Hey, you guys should talk with Warp." So I did, and we've got a very good conversation going, not just to run their nodes, but a whole lot of other things going on in the future. So, if you know communities that are out there that could benefit from this, if you're involved with an NFT community, they need us, because all they do is host all your data is sitting on AWS somewhere, right? All your PFPs or JPEGs. They could put it on the DeEEP ecosystem. It could live forever, right? How many of you guys have been involved in an NFT project that's there's no longer an NFT tied to it, so it's happened. There was a big one recently that just happened with.
The last one I remember was Goblin Town.
Well, Goblin Town was the one. There was a bigger one.
That was a big one.
Was it the Nike one, the RFK?
Yeah.
The one that Nike bought into, right? They just stopped paying it. They're like, we're done. Stop paying the bill. Guess what? There goes all your art. See ya.
It's literally $20 a month, and they stopped paying $20.
Yeah, it's on these NFT sites. It's a little more than we've talked to a couple companies, the large NFT companies, and looked into the side of how much they're paying. It's actually significant, into tunes of like they're paying tens to $20,000 a month for the services that they need in the NFT side, not just the artwork. There's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on in the back end. So, excuse me, I'm gonna get Manny sick now. Then he can't go to the gym.
What's happening?
You're welcome. You're welcome, everybody. I can't wait for mainnet either, man. Trust me. Missed out, but did you guys cover the Warp nodes? Yeah, we covered Warp nodes. You can go back and listen to it. We didn't go deep into it, just kind of the partnership side and what it can mean. Arweave. That's an interesting one. We actually were going to utilize Arweave earlier on within DeEEP, but just some of the stuff just didn't work out well there. So, but yes, overall, there probably is integration with Arweave and in DeEEP somewhere. So probably just need to reach out to him.
Dr. Wiki also has a lot of good content on Warp. If you go to his YouTube channel, he has a lot of good videos on Warp.
Yeah, he's done a very good covering those guys. So,
and in terms of the comment with Warp was like, it seems a bit pricey. It's like, only buy a Warp node
if that's what you want.
If that's what you want, like, you don't need a Warp node to be part of the DeEEP network.
Right, and it's we're not talking to them about pricing. We're not doing anything along those lines. We're there to help support what they're doing in the Web3 ecosystem. If they want to sell their nodes for $1 million, great. Go find those people. If you can, we'll host them and we'll help you deploy your stuff in a decentralized fashion. So
that's like a SUI validator. It's like what, $5 million for a SUI validator?
No. It's like $100
more
million.
than that. Yeah,
it's like $100 million.
Damn,
it's some ridiculous amount. But they're supposed to actually reduce that, I think, in the next epoch or something that they do. There's a vote going out. But anyways, any update on the new devices? Talked about that, Christos. Essentially, new devices, October timeframe. We're heads down with mainnet right now, or getting workloads deployed, getting TG there. So, and then we'll talk about those new devices. So. All right, we're coming up on time. We got a team meeting here coming up in 7 minutes. Anything else? Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Get swing to DeEEP.
Do you have 100 million? And we'll get them on there. I promise you, bring it there. We've got, even if it's not on this DeEEP device, we'll bring over some hardware that we have and we'll make it work. So,
thank you guys. Thank you for the support. We couldn't do this without you.
Yep. Love it. Take care. There's a hand over there. See you guys.